The SPFBO 9 finalists have been revealed. Let's take a look. Hey everyone, welcome back to the next chapter. My name is Christopher Navo and I'm going to be your host. If this is your first time joining, thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the content. Today's video is going to cover the 10 finalists chosen for the self-publishing fantasy blog-off contest hosted by Mark Lawrence. Originally, there were 300 entries. 30 books each were divvied out to 10 different judges and or groups of judges. And from them, they had to pick the one book that would make it to the finals. I have not read a single one of these finalists yet, despite having already read a handful of the other 300 entries to this contest, some amazing reads. So I can only imagine how impactful these finalists are. So what I thought I would do for you is present to you guys, compile those 10 books together, give you a little bit about what the book is about, as well as the opening lines to that book. There are 10 books here, so without any further ado, let's get started. Tap, tap, tap. Orman Latus shifted irritably in his high-back wooden chair. There were many things in this world that vexed him. Too many to list, really, but dripping rain gutters had to be in the top 10. So these books are in no particular order. First up, we have Master of the Void by Wen Raven. In the Seven Lands, magic is everything. So what happens when you're the only person who has none? Nothing matters more to Darius Mandy than forging a better life for his family by pursuing a formal magical education at the university. Something his parents have sacrificed what little they have to make it possible. When disaster strikes on the eve of his 13th birth movement, the day he was to receive his magical gift from the stars, will he choose perseverance or bitterness as he struggles against a society that would rather forget he exists than help him succeed? As the third son of an archmage, Orman Latus had spent his life living up to the expectations of others. When his testing goes horribly wrong, he must decide who he truly is when his carefully crafted upbringing is rendered useless. Setting off an epic adventure of self-discovery, Orman must find his place in the world before a looming evil destroys everything he holds dear. Death hums beneath the dirt as I tear up a web of ground ivy from the bed of lettuce. Purple blooms are set like gems against green leaves. Its roots are tangled around a mouth's skull. I run my dirty fingers across the yellow-eyed sockets. Next up, we have Hills of Heather and Bone by K.E. Andrews. The bones of the dead hold stories. On the fringes of Aragal, Morana longs to exchange a life of hiding for a peaceful one with her husband Percy. While Percy's blood gift lets him grow plants and heal broken bodies, Morana's a bone weaver, despised and feared because she can hear bones and raise the dead. Morana doesn't want to be seen as a villain from the old stories and instead spends her time gardening, writing the stories of the dead, and fending off a spiteful chicken. Morana and Percy's lives are shattered when a group of Falianas tasked with capturing bone weavers and rogue blood-gifted find them. On the run and battling the elements, ancient creatures, and the loss of all they called home, Morana and Percy search for a sanctuary left in Aragal. Morana must choose between the call of her blood or the family she holds so close to her heart, if she and Percy are to survive. Kalen woke with a start as the shadow crossed the doorway to his bedroom. His right hand went to the sheathed dagger under his pillow, while his left shielded his eyes from the dying light of the fire in the main room. Third on this list, we have The Last Fang of God by Ryan Kirk. When gods refuse to die, it's humans that suffer. Safely hidden deep within the endless fields of his late wife's people, Kalen's only dream is to live the rest of his days in peace. He paid for his dream in blood, but neither his sword nor service are demanded any longer. Chaos erupts when his daughter Sasha is called by Kalen's old master. Father and daughter have no choice but to leave the home they've created for the land of Kalen's birth. But the sins of the past cast long shadows. After years of a tenuous peace, gods and humans alike resume their quest for dominance. Kalen and Sasha find themselves in the midst of a struggle that will reshape the boundaries of the world. The warrior who wants nothing but peace will be forced to draw his sword once again. Will it be enough to protect his daughter from the whims of the gods? I parried the blow, then twisted to lash out with an attack of my own. He deflected it easily. Perhaps I have underestimated this so-called knight. Next up, we have Daughter of the Beast, Book 1 of the Vaishaka Trilogy. This is by E.C. Greaves. When her sleepy village is raided by the Valkyrie, the fearsome warrior women of the ancient wilds, only Zintiel Fairwinter is taken. Claimed as a daughter by the infamous matriarch, Zintiel is trained to hunt, to fight, and to kill, all for a purpose which remains ever out of her grasp. In the company of their unruly young, she must find sisterhood. In their unique customs and beliefs, she might find beauty, and in the violence of their rage, she might even find glory. But it is the reason for her capture that Zintiel truly seeks. It is a truth that must be earned from the very spirits of the dead, a future paid for in blood by those Zintiel once called her own. It is a purpose that promises the liberation of not just she, but all the ancient wilds from an evil far greater than any marauding warrior women. The Valkyrie, however, are not like other women. The Valkyrie are monsters, and sometimes only the truly monsters have what it takes to save the world. Before the door opened, everything in Ambrose Beek's life was perfect. His potion shop stood empty and quiet, a reflection of the sleepy street outside. His footsteps echoed alone, delightfully alone, on the polished wood floor as he dusted the bottles. Fifth on this list, we have Arrival Most Vile, Book 1 of the Side Quest Rose series by R.K. Ashwick. Two potion shops, one heated rivalry, until hate bubbles over into something else. Any adventurer worth their sword knows about Ambrose Beek. The proud, quiet half-elf sells the best and only potions in the city, until a handsome new shopkeeper named Eli opens another potion shop across the street, throwing Ambrose's peace and ledgers off balance. Within weeks, they're locked in a war of price tags and products. Ambrose's expertise against Eli's effortless charm. Toil leads to trouble, and the safety gloves come off, and right as their rivalry reaches a boiling point, the mayor commissions them to brew a potion together. The task is as complex as it is lucrative, pushing both men to the limits of their abilities and patience. Yet as the fires burn and the cauldrons bubble, they will find a different sort of chemistry brewing. They say when a man meets the love of his life, all the mean goes out of him. Sometimes in small bits, like venom leaving the blood. Sometimes in great rushes, like an open artery. I don't know about that. I do know when a person's gone, it starts to slip back in, a knife in the heart. Next, we have Cold West by Clayton Snyder. Bastard, killer, husband, father, his wife cold in the ground, and two young boys to feed. Will Cutter turns to what he knows, violence. But a bounty is never just a bounty, and blood is never spilled in drops. Forced to even more violent acts, he'll have to ask himself, is hell too far to ride? I was 6 years old the first time Mom threatened to sew my mouth shut. She got the needles out and everything, I swear. In her defense, I was a chaotic little shit at that age. Seventh book is The Fall Is All There Is, Book 1 of the Four Mercies series. This is by C.M. Kaplan. All Petre Mercy wanted was a good old-fashioned dramatic exit from his life as a prince. But it's been 5 years since he fled home on a cyborg horse. Now the king, his dad, is dead, and Petre has to decide which heir to pledge his thyroid-powered sword to. As the youngest in a set of quadruplets, he's all too aware that the line of succession is murky. His siblings are on the precipice of power grabs, and each of them want him to pick their side. If Petre has any hope of preventing civil war, he'll have to avoid one sibling who wants to take him hostage, win back another's trust after years of resentment, and get an audience with a sister he's been avoiding for 5 years. Before he knows it, he's plunged himself into a web of intrigue and a world of strange, unnatural inventions just to get to her doorstep. Family reunions can have a special form of torture. The Silver Fox watched the Hidden One travel along the wooden trail. He had followed the human and the horse for some time now. This human always had a peculiar scent, an aroma that contained many things. 8th on the list is The Last Ranger, Book 1 of The Ranger of the Titan Wilds. This is by J.D.L. Rosell. Leanne Firebrand is no stranger to a fight. A brash ranger of the Titan Wilds, she takes up her bow to ward against the colossal spirit creatures known as Titans, ever a threat to the colony she has sworn to protect. But no amount of skill can guard against treachery. When tragedy strikes the Ranger's Lodge, Leanne vows to avenge the fallen. But if she is to succeed, she must embrace a power within her she's long denied. Power to move mountains and rivers. Power over life and death. She did not choose this path, but Leanne knows her duty, for if she fails, the legacy of the Rangers die with her, and all of the Titan Wilds will fall into shadow. Isabeau Agwal stood before Spindle Manor at 7 o'clock in the evening with every intention of killing someone. Rain pounded her umbrella. Thunder rolled deep and low. Next up, we have Murder at Spindle Manor. This is Book 1 of the Lamplight Murder Mysteries. This is by Morgan Stang. For Huntress Isabeau Agwal, the countryside inn is the last stop in a deadly hunt. Armed with a gas lamp and guns, she tracks an insidious beast that wears the skin of its victims, mimicking them perfectly. 10 guests reside within Spindle Manor tonight, and their creature could be any one of them. Confined by a torrential thunderstorm and running out of time, Isabeau has until morning to discover the liar, or none of them, including her, will make it out alive. But her inhuman quarry isn't the only threat residing in Spindle Manor. Had Mr. Bash known that this was the night he was going to die, he would have stayed home. Instead, he found himself toiling up a winding lane with an ache in his back and both knees stiffened by the cold. Our final finalist is The Wickwire Watch, Book 1 of the Riverfall Chronicles. This is by Jacqueline Hagan. It's the first and greatest rule Inkwell Featherfield ever learned. It's also the only way he knows how to survive, besides picking pockets, dodging the law, and using every ounce of his plucky charm. But none of this will be enough to save him now. If only he never snooped around a dead man's house. If only he never found that pocket watch full of strange magic. If only he'd known the old man had snuffed it at the hands of the ghostly specters, or that such dark spirits even existed, because now they're after him. When Ink is approached by an enigmatic group offering to keep him safe, he accepts, only to discover his rescuers are a band of infamous fugitives who know they had a flair for winemaking or a penchant for sing-alongs. Thrust in a world of arcane horrors, powerful politicians, and dangers on every side, the boy has no choice but to finally break his rule and decide who to trust. But with all the secrets, magic, and mystery thickening around him, and the stakes so much higher than he ever imagined, it might just be downright impossible. And those are our 10 chosen finalists for the SPFBO 9 contest. Have you read any of these? Do you want to read any of these? Any of them sound interesting to you? Let me know in the comments. My name is Christopher Navo. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I hope to see you in the next chapter. Take care.